The latest release of ArtiMesh, I created new Boolean modifiers, and these are a lot better than the old ones. So I wanted to create a tutorial on how to use them. And then here we start off with the first cube. We're going to go ahead and delete that. And we're going to create a Pokeball in this tutorial. To do that, we're going to create a new sphere and add more subdivisions. After that, we're going to create one new object, a cube, and we're going to use this cube to cut this and slice something out of the center. We'll resize it and we'll see how that looks. Maybe a little bit smaller. To use these Boolean modifiers, we're going to subtract one from the other and we'll hit modify and Boolean. Now it is very important, I should note, that you should first select what you're subtracting from and then second with what you're subtracting. And you can use this little button at the bottom to hold and multi-select and choose both. Since Boolean features are still experimental, we have a warning and we'll accept that. And then we'll hit subtract. I do want to point out that these are a little bit slow, especially when you're working with a lot of vertices. So we'll go ahead and let this calculate. And we have a nice clean cut there. We'll create a cylinder too, and we're going to add more subdivisions. 24 will be good enough for this, and we'll submit it. Then we're going to shrink this, make it a little bit taller. We'll go ahead and rotate, but we want to make sure we turn on incremental snapping so we can turn it exactly 90 degrees. Now we'll turn that off and we'll try to move it forward. That looks a little too big, so we'll shrink it down. All right, that should be pretty good. And then what we'll do again is we'll select the first and then what we're subtracting from, and we'll subtract that. We'll wait for this to calculate again. And we have a new object that looks a lot like a Pokeball. We'll create another cylinder. We'll increase the subdivisions again to 24. And we're going to shrink that down and we're going to use it in the front of our model. We'll turn on snapping again and we'll rotate it 90 degrees. Looks like we need to shrink it a little bit more. Oh, I forgot to turn off snapping. We need to shrink it a little bit more. Push that to the front of the object. Maybe even just a bit more. We're going to duplicate it. Move it out. Shrink it again. And that's really starting to look like a Pokeball now. We're going to go ahead and move up both of those just a little bit forward. And that looks pretty nice. All right, now we'll add one more sphere. We'll go ahead and do the 4 subdivisions again. Submit. And we'll shrink it. All right, that looks a lot like a Pokeball right now. But we'll notice that we're seeing a lot of these different vertices. It looks kind of like harsh shading. So what we're going to do is double tap to select all, modify, set the shading. We're going to set to auto smooth. Auto smooth will automatically shade flat parts flat and round parts round. So we'll just stick with that. Now with that, we need to assign some materials. We'll jump over into material mode. First, we're going to select the center sphere and we're going to make that black. These two can be white, so we'll select them together. And we're going to choose another new material, make it white, and we'll assign it. Finally, we'll assign white to the whole thing for this one, but the top we want to be red, So how do we do that? Well, we're going to hide some of our other objects, jump over to face mode, make sure we get a really nice look at that. We're going to use the rectangle select at the top to just select the top vertices. We'll hit one more new material and we'll assign the red to those. Switch over to object mode, re-show all of our objects in the scene, and here we have a Pokeball that we can share with other people. To share it, it's already been auto-saved. You just have to hit export. Exporting an OBJ file with the material files will allow this to be used in other applications such as Blender. All right, hope you enjoyed that quick tutorial.